Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
The Saints also, as customary, signed a whole host of undrafted free agents after the NFL draft came and went. 16 of them to be exact. And look, if you go down the list, there's a few that it's just, okay. They signed a punter out of Vanderbilt, Matthew Hayball, a guard out of Boston College, a cornerback from Pittsburgh State, a wide receiver from Slippery Rock. But there are two that I find very, very intriguing. And we'll start with Colorado State tight end Dallin Holker. So if you don't know who Dallin Holker is, Dallin Holker started his career at BYU in 2018. He's 24 years old, played in 13 games at BYU as a true freshman, then left for 2 years to go serve on his mission. When he returned, he played in all 13 games at BYU in 2021. His seasons in 18 and 21 were very comparable. It wasn't this, wild production. He had about 200 receiving yards in both, a single touchdown in both. Nothing's really jumping off the page. 3 years into his final year at BYU, in 3 games, into his final year at BYU, he enters the transfer portal. Ends up at Colorado State for his last year of college football in 2023, and he blew up. If you still don't know who Dallin Holker is, let me give you something that might remind you. In week 2, he had an insane one-handed catch in the end zone for a touchdown that was lauded early as catch of the year. In that massive game against Colorado State that went to multiple overtimes, drew a wild television audience, he had 2 touchdowns and a whole host of receiving yards in that game. So you've seen him play. In 2023, after the pedestrian years at BYU and serving his mission for 2 years, 2023 at Colorado State, Dallin Holker was a second-team All-American by the Associated Press, a finalist for the Mackey Award, which goes to the best tight end in the nation. He was first-team All-Mountain West, started all 12 games, caught over 700 yards worth of balls and 6 touchdowns, and oh, by the way, was voted a team captain. And all of a sudden, teams took notice. When you look at him from a prospect standpoint, pass catcher is the first thing that comes to mind. He's not going to give you much in terms of inline blocking, but he's got great hands. He's great with contested catches. And while he is not a blazer when it comes to speed, his 40 time was a 4.78. The agility is off the charts for a guy like Dallin Holker. He is great in space. 6 yards after the catch per average last season at Colorado. He's got ability to make guys miss, and he's got great run after the catch, even without that speed. Like, it's not a great burst, but when he gets going, he can run past some people. That also helps him a little bit on seam routes and things of that nature. This is a very intriguing prospect to me for that reason. Now, there's a couple of things you have to obviously account for. He's 24 years old. So that's going to help him fall in some type of process like this. There's only been one season where he's blown up. But even with him being 24, I feel like there's enough there that the Saints can continue to kind of mold him and develop him. And this would be a guy that I think could be a phenomenal backup tight end for you going forward. Like, I don't think Dallin Holker is ever going to be a top flight starting tight end in the NFL. But what if Dallin Holker gives you what Jimmy Graham gave you last season. Would you take that? Now, they'd have to use him a little bit more than they used Jimmy Graham last season. But if you get that from him year one as an undrafted player, and then he maybe continues to develop, because y'all, just go turn on the highlight tape of this guy, and you'll see it. He had a play in that Colorado State game where, I mean, the throw was not great. He had a defender draped all over him, and the throw was at his shoelace. Think Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the Alabama game in 2019 on that third and 10. He caught the ball on his shoelaces. This is a tight end. Catches the ball on his shoelaces, sheds the tackle, and then runs for the end zone. It was like a 30-plus yard touchdown. That's the type of athleticism you are seeing from a guy like this, and you got him undrafted. NFL.com, they made a list of the top available undrafted players at each position after the draft. Dallin Holker was the number one ranked tight end on that list. This feels like an absolute steal from the New Orleans Saints here, undrafted rookie-wise with Holker. I'm fired up to watch him go through camp because his testing at the combine was great. Like, you get a total score at the combine. It's split from your, what they call a production score and athleticism score. His production score was an 80. That was fourth among all tight ends at the combine. His athleticism score was 75. That was 10th among all tight ends at the combine. Overall, his total score was a 76th, 6th among all tight ends at the combine, and you got him as an undrafted rookie. I'm fired up to watch Dallin Holker go through camp with the Saints and see if he can't not only make the team, but become some sort of a contributor on this team behind Juwan Johnson, behind Foster Moreau, and obviously Taysom Hill will be in his role. He'll line up at tight end, he'll line up at receiver, he'll line up on special teams, he'll line up at quarterback. You know what Taysom Hill is at this point. Holker is extremely intriguing to me. The other guy is Tran Jeffcoat. He is a edge rusher out of Arkansas. He was, first of all, for what it's worth, that NFL.com list, the third best edge rusher on that. The thing I like most about him, why he's intriguing, is the versatility. At his size, he could be a great edge in a 4-3 or potentially even play outside linebacker in a 3-4. Solid motor from Jeffcoat, but he needs to work on his hands a little bit and kind of understand what he is. I think the Saints have done a great job developing defensive linemen. That's another reason I'm intrigued by him, and he feels like a pretty raw prospect there, and he's a great athlete. Like, the athleticism score was 71 at the combine. It was 14th out of all DNs and edge rushers. So I'm extremely excited to watch Dallin Holker, but Tran Jeffcoat's the other guy that's really intriguing because of the athleticism and the versatility that he brings, and New Orleans's track record kind of for developing defensive linemen. We'll see. Those are the two guys out of the 16 that I'm most intrigued to watch out of the Saints undrafted free agents.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.